Thanks for joining us on the program, everyone. From the global corridors of power in Davos to the internal reform battles within Nigeria's ruling party, tonight we examine how dialogue, reform, and power are being tested both abroad and even at home. Well, let's begin in Switzerland, everyone, as world leaders gather for the 56th World Economic Forum under the theme, A Spirit of Dialogue. Nigeria is not just present, it's also projecting ambition from its first ever sovereign pavilion to investment conversations and an emerging focus on artificial intelligence as well as economic reform. The Vice President is there representing President Tinubu. But beyond the optics, the real question really is whether or not Nigeria is gaining tangibly from Davos 2026, and how does this indeed translate into growth, into jobs and confidence back at home. We're talking to our correspondent there in the course of this program as we continue to follow deeply what the country's first sovereign pavilion mean beyond the optics. What are the concrete objectives that this delegation is pushing this year, and also the success, what success will look like at the end of the conference. Davos conversations are often criticized as elite talk shops. So we are finding out, we want to know if there are specific investment commitments, MOUs to look out for, as well as sector-focused negotiations that Nigeria is advancing, especially in areas of energy infrastructure or even technology. The foreign minister, we spoke with him earlier, and he's talking about an AI unit that has been created in the ministry. Practically, how would this AI indeed change Nigeria's diplomacy, and what's it really going to do for our trade negotiations and digital diplomacy in that regard? With tightening global capital, you understand that geopolitical tensions as well as slowing growth in parts of Europe and Asia are also complicating economic development. How receptive is the global investment community to Nigeria right now, and what concerns are investors privately raising?
We have foreign exchange reserves in excess of $43 billion. Treasury bills, sovereign bonds are doing well with yields of 8 to 10%. We have tax reforms, petroleum industry acts, and corporate governance. So this story has to be told, and it has to be told by us. Otherwise, others will frame the narrative for us, and it might not be in our best interest. And for us in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we're also here to engage. We're going to have some very serious meetings with some of the major, big tech.
Our State House correspondent Femi Akode is with the Nigerian delegation in Davos. He joins me now for more on this development. Femi, Nigeria has attended Davos before, but it's the first time we're seeing a sovereign pavilion. Beyond the optics, what would you say are the objectives for this delegation? What objectives are they pursuing this year?
Sorry, Nathan, please repeat your question.
I'm asking the objectives the Nigerian delegation is pursuing this year at Davos.
Well, for Nigeria, is to project the prospects and opportunities that exist in Nigeria to the world, and that's why the Nigerian government has launched the Nigeria House, which would be like a one-stop, which would be like a one-stop hub for investors, where investors will meet directly with government officials and policymakers, and where they can transform, intentions to invest into real prospects and opportunities, and eventually turn it into prosperity for Nigeria. That Nigeria House was just opened by Vice President Kashim Shettima less than an hour ago here in Davos. And Nigeria is also using this Nigeria House to sell the reform agenda of President Bola Tinubu, especially in some thematic areas like the solid mineral sector, artificial intelligence, the climate resilient agricultural sector, and also technology. And there are also hopes that Nigeria will be able to partner and collaborate with some other countries of like minds and other businesses and private sector to help develop infrastructure and also human capital development in the country, if I may.
Absolutely. We heard the Foreign Affairs Minister earlier saying that an AI unit has been created in the ministry. Practically, how is this changing diplomacy, trade negotiations, and digital diplomacy?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your question. Please
well,
repeat.
I'm referring to the AI unit. You spoke with the foreign minister earlier who talked about an AI unit created within the ministry. Practically, how is that changing diplomacy at that level?
Well, for Nigeria and indeed most ministries, developments, and agencies, we are all tapping into the AI industry to see how they can harness the potentials that exist in this particular sector and also help improve governance. It's all about the AI governance, how to responsibly deploy AI for economic growth, improvement of governance, and also ensuring transparency and accountability. That's what Nigeria is focused on, and that's what the Nigerian government and officials here at Davos have been saying, Nifemi.
Absolutely, yeah, and we're looking forward to that. Femi, we have to go now, but for the average Nigerian watching, the big question is, how does Davos, how does it affect my daily life? Or how do you think government intends to answer that question?
Well, for government will tell you that it's a platform where they sell opportunities in Nigeria, where they meet with investors directly, sit down with them, convince them, help them identify the opportunities that exist in Nigeria, ensure that all the bottlenecks, bureaucratic bottlenecks, are removed from the way, and eventually they get down to Nigeria with their investment, build infrastructure, and create prosperity, which will eventually create jobs and add to the gross domestic product. For now, there's an increase in portfolio investment and a bit of increase in the foreign direct investment. But what Nigerians are indeed asking is for all of this to translate into meaningful jobs, economic growth that will really touch their lives. And the Nigerian government here is saying that, well, eventually, just a little time, all of this will begin to translate into something Nigerians can touch and feel.
Indeed. SIDA's correspondent Femi Akonde live for us in Davos. We'll continue to track development from Davos. Thank you for talking to us.